Oh, hi, I'm Kelsey, and in high school, I was voted most likely to get hit by a parked car. Now, although I never did get hit by a parked car, there was one thing that did take a major hit. That was my self-esteem. You see, back then, I was living with undiagnosed ADHD. I was different. Well, now I'm here to show you that we are never done learning and growing despite our challenges and our differences. So what do you say? You want to come learn with me? Let's go!
Hi, Kelsey. How are you?
Hey, pretty good.
How was work?
Oh my God, I forgot to go to work.
Oh no, what happened?
I got incredibly distracted. You see, okay, I was walking to work, and then I heard some music. I walked down the street. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of colorful rainbows and sparkles.
Oh, wow.
And I saw a lot of happy people.
Yeah?
And they were dancing, and they were singing, and lots of cool costumes.
That does sound pretty cool and
Yeah.
pretty distracting.
I don't know what the heck he was about, though, but I want to see more.
Yeah. Do you remember anything else that you saw?
Like, maybe, well, I did see people, I think they're called drag queens.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were dressed up pretty fabulously.
Yeah, they are. They usually are.
Yeah.
They're very into like makeup and expressing yourself through makeup and costumes, and you know that sounds kind of up your alley.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
You
you should like try to connect with one of them and learn more.
That's a great idea. And
I
you know
know.
what? I actually did get a phone number.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow.
Can you guess what I'm going to do now?
You're going to make a sandwich. You're going to call the number.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my second guess.
Yeah. Then I'll make a sandwich.
Okay. Can I have one too?
Do you want pickles on it?
Yeah.
Typical. Is this Dylan? Dylan? You don't really know me yet, but I was wondering. Oh, it's Kelsey, by the way. Yeah, from the parade. Yeah. I was wondering if we can kind of have like some type of drag queen hangout. Like maybe you can teach me how to put makeup on. I already know how, but maybe teach me your way of doing it. Okay. Okay. I'll be there, like, I'm sorry. I follow Kelsey time, so an hour might be 3 hours. I'll see you when I see you. Okay, bye.
Great.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Go learn,
Yeah.
and then you can teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you already know, though.
Well, I've been around.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yay. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, I'm here with my friend Dylan. Dylan is here to teach me drag today. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, how's it going today?
It's going well.
It's going, I really appreciate you having me here to have a little discussion about drag and kind of just get ready and play with makeup today.
Thank you so much for coming. I actually want to know, who are you going to transform into later? What's this character I'm going to see?
Well, I have been working on a character now for a number of years. Her name is Doris in drag.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we're just going to kind of get ready in my kind of everyday makeup today. I still consider it drag because it's high glam, high fashion, which is exactly what I am.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing
tell.
today. What are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm thinking of being who I feel like on the inside. I don't want to give away too many details, but I'm from outer space, basically, and I'm going to be some type of alien, I think. So
Perfect.
I'm excited. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have a bunch of colors picked out, but I'm just going to go with the flow.
You're just going full board alien today on us.
Yes.
We like that.
So where do we begin?
Well, I'm personally going to start off with blocking my brows.
Yes.
In terms of drag queens, usually we'll use a glue. Usually we'll use a disappearing purple kind of Elmer school glue, just to be able to make sure that we have no traces of glue color over our brows. So
a lot of people would think you're crazy for putting school supplies on your face.
yeah.
So what's with the Elmer's glue itself, like, as opposed to something like wax?
I think it's just easier access. It's literally already in a kind of tube form. So all I've got to do, kind of just brush it through my eyebrows.
That's amazing. And it's safe for your skin?
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Your skin's still on your head, so
it's still there.
It must be okay.
I still have brows. They grow back fine.
That's super interesting to use Elmer's glue to block brows. Like,
it's something that usually you wouldn't have expected. Usually you would think
No.
the drag queens just use their natural brows.
yeah.
But I'd say about 99% of them shave them off entirely.
Oh, totally.
I just don't have the decency or strength to do that.
Right.
So we're keeping my brows.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're good brows.
They're good
All right.
brows.
So,
So that's the first thing we're gonna do.
okay, block brows.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and then I think I'm gonna share my glue stick with you. If you're gonna glue your brows down.
Well, I also have wax.
So are you gonna use wax? Or are
I
you
think I'm
use...
gonna try wax.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, I've never used wax. I've always used glue.
Well, okay. You use glue, I'll use wax, and we'll see how bad mine looks compared to yours.
Now, why don't you tell me a little bit of your experience personally with drag?
Sure. Well, I don't have a lot of experience with drag, but back in the day, I did go to school for makeup.
Yeah.
And I went to Vancouver, and it was about a year-long course, and it was super fun. We did basic makeup to body painting to prosthetics.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we did drag. So that's actually why I have this modeling wax.
Oh, okay.
It's used on dead bodies, too.
On dead bodies. I mean, that's essentially what I am right now, so.
Oh, okay.
Until we get dressed up in our drag looks, that's essentially what I am. I don't know about you, but I feel pretty dead until I doll up and drag and kind of glam myself out.
Yes, I look dead, too, until I put makeup on.
And I guess you are kind of doing a more abstract look today. Kind of.
I'm going for the church look, actually.
You're going for the church look. Yeah, just a simple Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
I got you.
So far, this sucks.
Is it not turning out how you expected? I mean, hey, it's something.
It really matters how little coffee you've had earlier,
How shaky your hands are.
but also the temperature of your hands. If your hands are too cold, then the wax doesn't really play.
And in terms of my, because how I started out in drag was actually doing SFX makeup. And a big part of that was working with prosthetics and scar wax and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you use this stuff.
Similar, but a little bit cheaper. I tend to make a homemade version, which kind of consists of Vaseline and flour. And it just kind of makes it like a Play-Doh consistency that you can spread on your face and blend it out. Would you like to use the glue?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm just putting on my last layer of glue. Usually I like to put about 2 layers down. Are you mad about that, Scott?
I forgot how art makes me mad sometimes.
Of course.
As it should.
As it should.
That's part of the fun of it.
All right, let's try. So I'm gonna go the opposite, like.
Yeah, you want to get it all throughout your entire brow. Usually I just do it in circular motions. Feel free to, yeah. As long as you're not like going onto your forehead and stuff, obviously, right?
And then you have it
Yep.
nice and flat to your skin.
Yep, absolutely. You can use your finger if you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna take off this wax.
Yes. Yes, that doesn't look like it's doing you too much.
I don't feel like losing my temper in front of you guys. And how long have you been doing drag for?
I first learned about drag when I was about 17. I had been going through some living troubles at the time, and I was homeless and kind of going in between housing. And I ended up staying with a group of people who were adamant viewers of RuPaul's Drag Race. So my first time seeing it, I just absolutely fell in love with it. Well, I was actually a little terrified of drag queens when I first seen them for the first time.
Oh, why were you terrified?
I was terrified because it was unknown territory to me. It was something that I didn't understand, but it was something that intrigued me at the same time. And I think things that we don't understand, but we feel an innate attraction towards, I think that it can be scary, you know?
That was a great segue.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just because we don't understand something doesn't mean it's wrong or, bad.
Yeah. No, it just takes time to actually devote yourself to learning the process and to learning the history of whatever it is you're interested in, right?
Right.
Which for me happened to be drag and makeup. It really stemmed with a love for makeup at the beginning. The drag was just kind of the extra bonus, the fancy clothes and the coiffed big hairstyles.
Right.
And just that extroverted personality that I think a lot of drag queens don't really have just as their normal selves, you know? Drag tends to be an escape for lots of people.
I can definitely see that.
So what you're gonna do now in terms of your brows,
Okay.
you're just gonna kind of let that sit. It's flat down to your face right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you're just gonna let that sit for a minute or two till it dries. You could do this a little bit just to like fan it so it dries itself. And then you'll put one more layer of glue over top of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to powder. I mean, unless you only want to put one layer of glue down. That might be fine. I've got really bushy brows.
Me too.
So yeah, you might want to do 2 layers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, while that's kind of drying, I'm going to just paint myself all silver, because why not?
Why not? Oh, you're literally using a cream.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It kind of looks like a cream color, eh?
Are there rules to drag? Like,
No.
No? Okay, good.
No, not really. It's really however you want your character to look, however you want your persona to look.
I want to look insane. So.
To look insane. So yeah, usually I would go in at this point with usually the first thing I would have done would have been a primer, but since we're skipping on primer today, because we've got naturally flawless skin,
Yeah.
we're moving straight onto foundation.
Yeah.
I usually just kind of take a little bit on my hand like that.
Oh, yes. Yes, I should be doing that with you. Okay.
I mean, depends on what you're using. You seem to be doing a more abstract look.
Yeah.
That wasn't shade, by the way. That was not shade at all. But so you might not even want to use foundation, you know? You just want to straight go in with the...
Okay, I have a confession. I already put it on. I'm not that flawless. I already had it on.
You're just naturally flawless. You have to remember that. We're all just humans trying to survive here, Kelsey.
Yeah, well,
So,
I don't feel human, so I'm
yes, I guess you did say you were going for a little bit more extra.
I'm going to go travel up into space later, where I belong.
So I'm just trying to match your speed at this point. And
No, that's fine.
And I'm just covering my face in my foundation at this point. Usually I like to go forehead down, because I like to make sure that I'm getting the brows first. I want to make sure that they're as flat as possible. You can still see a little bit of color, but I'll just go over that with a concealer and it'll brighten it right up. Kind of cover any imperfections or flaws. And then, yeah, after that, we just go in and do a big powder.
Okay. I think I did the powder already.
I think you did. Well, I mean, you were definitely powdering your brows.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's going to come out fabulous.
Okay. So,
Yes.
speaking of drag, because that's the topic today, where is a good place to go if you want to meet new people and, fit in somewhere?
Well, I
Is
mean,
there a gathering that you could go to in Kamloops?
in Kamloops.
Well, I don't know.
Well, if you don't live in such a rural area,
Yeah.
like we live in, then it's a lot easier because especially in places like a big city and stuff, you have more people, you have more of a market for drag events and stuff like that. I guess I should kind of talk to you a little bit about how drag originated. But I think we should get our foundation on before we kind of go into the history, the long and extremely in-depth history of drag. So
Sure.
yeah, maybe we'll put our foundation on before that.
Well, we got our foundation on now. Now what?
Well, first of all, I want to ask you a pretty big and important question that we kind of discussed off screen a little bit, but I would like to go more in depth. What is your definition of drag or a drag queen?
No pressure or anything.
No pressure or anything.
I don't know. I guess I don't really have a definition, but my idea of what I think a drag queen is. I'm sure I'm wrong, but I thought it had to be a man that dresses as a woman. But I learned that a woman could be drag too. Like I could dress just as a flamboyant woman, and I think that can still technically be drag. But I think the flamboyant part is important, to be flamboyant and like loud and proud.
Yep.
And almost like a larger version of who you are on the inside is like you're enhancing that in your character through costume. This is a good answer. I am so surprised with myself.
No, it's great. It's great.
But I think, it has to do with just kind of coming out of your shell in a very theatrical way. Of course, with feathers and lashes and sparkles, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Especially the sparkles.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you think? What is...
Well, I think you pretty much summed it down to a T. I think the beautiful thing about drag is that there's no set definition for drag. The only definitions that have ever been conclusively determined or placed in a definition textbook or anything have been societally created definitions, which means that it's something that a large general or a large public determined is what the definition was of drag. But I think, especially over recent years, especially in modern years, we've been learning, or even like in the late 90s when we had Miss Doubtfire going around and Robin Williams dressing up as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
I think that kind of gave us a better inclination that drag isn't specifically set to one strict definition. I know we had mentioned a little bit off screen that usually there is an element of performance within drag, which I do have to agree with that, especially with the way drag was created, being specifically in theater. I think that there is naturally, there's naturally a definition that people want to relate it to performance or theater or anything that's kind of related to performance.
Expression.
Yes, but I mean, even now, for example, we're sitting here and we're doing our makeup and we're looking fabulous doing it.
Sure.
We're looking fabulous. And we're not performing or anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're just sitting here having a discussion, putting our makeup on. Yet, I absolutely would see what we're doing right now as drag, you know? So I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about drag is there's no real definition of drag. It's a subjective opinion. And each of us is free to see drag however we want to see it. That's, I think, a huge reason a lot of us are pulled into drag is because there's no restrictions. There's nobody telling us, you can't do this, you can't do this. You do get the odd drag queen who thinks they know everything about how the industry works. But
So the rules are there are no rules.
that's exactly right. The rules are whatever rules you create.
Just be you.
Yes, exactly. Because you have to think of drag, like we mentioned a little earlier, as a persona, right? And with that persona, that little bit of an element of performance, it's important to individualize ourselves, and it's important to create a unique identity and definition of drag and kind of teach people how we want them to perceive drag, right? If that makes sense to you. It's a broad definition for pretty much stating, like you said, there are no rules in drag. Each of us sees it a different way. We've had drag as far back, in my opinion, as far back as before the 1700s. We've had drag as far back in times of First Nations two-spirited individuals.
Oh!
We've had drag as far back as
Cool.
ancient Egypt times, where you would see a lot of the males who would be the ones that makeup was typically created for. Eyeliner, stuff like that was all, even high heels were originally created for men.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was in France, during the French Revolution, maybe before the French Revolution, a lot of the more higher end, a lot of the richer male French figures would wear high heels, and it was to keep their feet a certain length or certain something like that. You know how weird we were as people back in the day.
Oh, we were so still weird.
We are still weird. But now we're embracing our weirdness a little bit, right?
That's the important part. Embrace our weird.
That's the important part.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's the definition of drag.
I like it.
And I think for a lot of people that aren't used to learning about drag, they're going to automatically assume, okay, well, drag is a man getting in a wig and a dress and just dancing for money. But when you really delve into the history of drag and the history of LGBTQ and their relation to drag, you see that it's a lot bigger than that. It has to do with freedom. It has to do with self-expression. It has to do with community support and knowing that we've got a support base for each other, you know?
Yeah. Do you feel like you have support in our community?
I feel like times are flip-flopping back and forth. I feel like we're still in a little bit of a hesitant period in society, and I think that's still why we do what we do. I think that's still why we have Pride Month. I think that's why RuPaul's Drag Race got as big as it did, is because not just us as Canadians, but worldwide, I think we feel that there's still a chance for us as humans to revolt back into a scary time, you know? And we see that happening in some parts of the world.
Yes.
And so that's why I think now more than ever you're seeing more drag queens, louder drag queens, bigger pride events, and more self-expression from younger individuals, right? Because I can say from personal experience, I was abandoned by homophobic parents at the age of 12. So there was always a yearning for something to connect to, something that didn't restrict me or tell me I couldn't be this or I couldn't do that. And so drag was one of those things that allowed me to express myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I look so weird. I think I'm going to get kicked out of church, you guys.
I love it.
I don't.
It's something creative and
You have
different.
needing an exorcism look about you at this point.
I'm doing my brows. You guys can't make me laugh right
Oh,
now.
so that's exactly what I want to get. Okay, so we're trying to cover up the hair.
Yeah. Now me.
And then draw a whole different eyebrow above your eyebrow, right?
That's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to build using our brow bone. We're trying to start at our brow bone and work our way just above where our natural brow bone would be. That way, all the eyebrow that we've covered below it, we could just put a little bit of white over top of that, and it covers it up completely.
Ah, yes.
And that's why you'll see lots of drag queens use a lot of white eyeshadow in their looks. Because it covers up, white and black eyeshadow, they cover up all the imperfections, so.
Yellow it is.
Yellow it is. Hey, that's cool. You're starting to, what's that McDonald's character that's purple?
Grimace.
I love it. No, I love it.
Yay.
this is what I grew up on. Was like I told you, I started off with SFX and horror makeup. I started off with drag queens. That's part of their style, is a more messy look where they get to describe the feelings that they're going through in their life, right? Drag doesn't necessarily have to be perfectly pristine and glamorous. Drag can be ugly and horrible.
Good.
And real, like the world, right?
I love that. You know, I try to convey this message that it's okay to, mess up and be bumpy and rough around the edges.
That's part of the fun, right?
Nobody is a cookie cutter perfect person.
No, exactly. It's all about learning and having fun. And like I said, I would much rather this any day than hearing, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're not allowed to have your own opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd much prefer this, where we're sitting here and we're just having fun.
Who's having fun? There's no fun allowed here.
And we're learning. So yes, I've got a little bit more of a lighter color now over my brows. And
oh, wow. Oh, beautiful.
Just like that.
Oh, you blended it really nicely. Blending's important. You want to talk about blending?
Blending is 90% of your makeup look. You want to make sure that you have smooth skin. You want to make sure that you're taking time. If you've got forehead wrinkles like me, I've got major forehead wrinkles. And doing this, the more you do this, the more you will crease. So it's just making sure that you blend your makeup and don't overlayer it. Don't cake it to the point where it's going to bunch up and crunch. That's not what you need to do with drag makeup.
No bunching and crunching.
Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do, I already put my contour on.
Okay.
Contour for drag queens, I don't need to contour because contouring is shaping your face. I'm fairly skinny.
You got great cheekbones. That's the whole purpose of it, right?
Exactly. The whole purpose is to create a face that you want to create.
Oh, well, done. I was born.
No, I'm loving it. At least you're using color. I'm straight up blank right now.
No, that's great. I think it's good to show variety. So, yeah, there's no rules. Like, you can be super subtle like me or
I mean, it's cool because your cheeks are kind of giving like an aquamarine mermaid kind of vibe right now.
I do have a lot of shimmer and metallic colors on.
Okay, I was going to say I have this stuff and it's like a cream highlighter.
Ah,
so if you want to use it, you can use that. All right, blush, blush, blush. And I think,
yes?
I'm just trying to think right now of the next topic. Who does drag?
Oh, I don't know. Who does drag? I think it's you that does drag. Who else does drag?
Well, I mean, anyone can do drag. I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about drag, right?
Right. Yeah, what's the demographic of people that typically do drag? Do you have to be gay to be a drag queen?
No, you don't have to be gay.
Good.
There are many, like you right now. You're a heterosexual woman and you're sitting here and you're doing drag with me.
Yeah.
So it just shows that there are no restrictions in drag. And sometimes people that don't know about drag like to place restrictions over what drag should be. And I think those individuals
are party poopers.
I think they just need to do a little bit more research on the entire purpose of drag, you know?
Right.
What is the entire objective of playing with color and art in general, you know?
Well, I find it is very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Even if you look like a psychopath.
A beautiful psychopath.
No. I looked so much cooler in my head.
Isn't that how it always works with drag, though?
But why is drag important to you?
Well, personally, I guess drag is important to me because it gives me an escape. It kind of gives me an escape from the darkness that reality can be sometimes. Sometimes this world can be a very harsh place. Mm-hmm. And we're all just trying to enjoy life and do things that we love to do. So a huge part of that for me has been drag, just because it was there for me.
Sorry.
I was having such a moment there.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
That sounded so innocent and pure. What do you need to stop with the googly eyes. No, it's your luck.
I can't stop. I'm sorry. The dark reality. Tell me about your dark reality.
I need a break. You're gonna make me cry.
I agree, though. Like, I use art as a way to get out of my crappy life and mindset. Mm-hmm. For sure. How's it going?
It's going great over here.
That's beautiful. I love the shape. Is that a smoky V, you would call that?
A smoky V.
I think so.
I just call this the stereotypical.
Is it classic drag look?
It's the classic drag look because the whole concept behind this is to create a bigger eyelid. Women tend to have more eyelid space than men do.
That's sexist.
That's
Just joking.
so.
I didn't know that.
No, but big is beautiful, and so I always try to extravagate. Is that a word? I try to extravagate my makeup, just to make it as big and as bold and as beautiful as possible. Another thing you have to remember about drag makeup is that it is performed a lot, and drag queens are quite often on stage. So you have to remember that bigger is better on stage because lights will drown you out.
Yes.
And you want to make sure that everyone can see you, even the individuals that are in the back that want to leave your show.
Is it common for drag queens to have a theater background?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it very much is because
It seems like it goes hand in hand, hey?
well, yeah, theater's another one of those things that as a child it gives you that escape from whatever you might be going through in your life.
Yeah.
And I think it just gives people a reason to try something new, try something different.
Yeah.
And that's what life is all about, right? So now I'm gonna go in, and this was kind of like a tracer. So now I just go in and blend it. Blend, 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 like you mentioned earlier.
I love it.
Blending's extremely
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
My desk is gonna be quite a mess here. How are you doing on that end, Kelsey?
I'm much happier now. I think the googly eyes
You think they did
brightened
something?
my day.
She's all in on the eyes.
Googly eyes always brighten the day.
What's a really important thing to have as a drag queen? Like big lashes, big boobs, big shoes, big, big, big.
I think the most important thing that a
Big
drag
heart.
queen, that's very true. A big support base.
That's a really good answer.
An area that they know that they can go that's free of judgment, that's free of the potential for violence, which is still very prevalent in the LGBTQ community. And like I said before, drag queens, not all of them are gay or straight or lesbian or lesbian or bisexual. Lots of them are straight.
And I think that's a really surprising thing for people to learn.
To learn that there's a lot of straight individuals.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the heterosexual community is largely involved in the drag community because a lot of straight people know how it feels to be judged and ostracized as well. It's not like being ostracized is just something that happens to gay people.
Right.
It happens to all of us at one point or another. So I think the LGBTQ community, the drag community, just shows them that we're there for them. You know?
Right. Believe it or not, I used to get made fun of.
Yeah. I don't understand why. Your talent surpasses anything.
I
could have
don't know.
expected.
It has something to do with me just being a little different, but
I think different is beautiful, though.
I think so too. I really do.
I think
Yeah.
different is beautiful. I think we're not hurting anybody by sitting here putting on some makeup. We could be as different as we want, you know what I mean? The only thing I'm wondering at this point is yellow or white for the center of my lid.
Yellow. I say
Yeah.
yellow.
I think that's a good idea.
The center of your lid, yes.
Yeah? I'm thinking even just like
I have.
right here.
Oh, you got. That's like a cream color, eh?
It's just a really pigmented powder.
Very Ukraine.
Very Ukraine. It is kind of giving Ukraine vibes, isn't it?
Yeah. Would you like googly eyes?
I kind of would like a googly eye.
So, like, what is the point of drag even?
Well, I think that's subjective as well. I think everyone's going to have a different opinion about it. But personally, I think the entire point and meaning of drag is just to find self-acceptance with yourself. It's to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and to be able to know that you're worth it and that you're valuable and that you're beautiful no matter how you look. Obviously, this is makeup. We can take this off at any point, and it's going to be us and who we are in our hearts underneath of it. So I think it's important to be able to look at yourself when you're in drag and to be able to see more than just the makeup that's on the surface, right?
You're enhancing your inner beauty on the outer side.
Exactly. I couldn't have said that better myself. So yeah, I think that is, for me, the entire point of drag is just to find that happiness and self-acceptance within yourself, whether or not you're wearing makeup or you just have an extra boost in your step or whatever it is, it's finding that confidence in yourself. But what about you? What do you think drag means?
Well, I'm just going to copy and paste what you said. I mean, I really think it's about expressing yourself and kind of finding your authentic skin suit.
Yeah.
And, you know, learning to be okay with the way you are. Maybe you don't like your big nose, but just put a googly eye on it and it'll be okay.
Put a googly eye on
okay.
it. Couldn't have said that better myself.
Yeah, no, I think it's all about a matter of just finding what makes you comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
And as long as you're a good human and everything like that, and you treat people with kindness and respect, then you're set. You're already beautiful, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And drag for the longest time has also been about community outreach, community support, especially for the LGBTQ community. But like we've talked about here, for straight people as well that just want to try their hand at drag, it's just letting people who have been ostracized know that we're here as a community to support them, that we've been through the same thing, and that being artsy and weird and liking makeup or whatever it is, dancing around in your house to Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. You know, that's a beautiful thing, and
right.
And that should be embraced.
Just, it's good to just be in the moment.
It's true. It's true, and we all love Celine Dion, so.
Meh.
Okay, maybe not all of us, but most of us love Celine Dion.
I don't know her. I like her. I don't love her.
You like her, you don't love her?
I don't know her.
Okay. Well, we'll say
I appreciate
Kathy
her.
Bates. There we go.
I'm just doodling at this point. I think I'm almost ready for my costume now.
You're just about ready for your costume?
Oh, we didn't even talk about the costume part. So is that also just as equally important as makeup? Is the costume part?
Ooh, costume is a completely different subjective thing because there are drag queens who grew up on a specific mentality for what drag was, and we talked about that earlier. Is that there are queens that even drag queens who have a set definition and a very strict ruling for drag placement, drag hierarchy. We should respect the older queens. But a lot of the older queens are set in their ways. They believe that it's supposed to be glamorous. It's supposed to be one way. And we're in an era now where you have drag monsters. You have bearded queens. You have drag kings who just go balls to the walls, cuts on their face and ripping their wigs off, and it's scarring underneath. So it's there's
different genres of drag almost.
Yeah. So
right.
So yeah, it's not like what a lot of the older drag queens will tell you, where it's supposed to be a beaded gown and everything's supposed to be coiffed and perfect, and you should have the double
right.
wispy lashes, and you should be wearing heels, and It's in this day and age, we are at a point now where it is whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and I love that.
Do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have respect for those older queens. I have respect for the queens who stick to a routine. Even me here, I stick to a routine. I do a very specific look, but I just find so much, I don't know, love, and like I get so excited when I see something like what you're doing right now, for example, is you're creating a completely new makeup look, which you can take.
I wear this all day, every day. What are you talking about?
Right? To church. But no, you're taking a brand new concept and you're just having fun with it. And that's what I appreciate about drag, and about the fact that costumes and hair and all that is just, it's just an extra step of how you want to perceive yourself, right?
Right.
So I could dress up just in this hoodie right now, just like this.
Heck yeah.
I do it a million times, so all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit around my house and be like this because
Why not?
face, right? Like it's all about the face. So,
Yeah.
no, but...
And attitude, right?
And attitude.
Yeah.
And attitude. Yeah, do whatever you want for your costuming. Drag queens can spend upwards of $10,000 on one costume. So, whereas me, I have a $25 dress that I'm going to be wearing today. So...
Let's see it. Where is it?
Yes, I absolutely will show you my dress right here. Beautiful, beaded, $25 on Amazon.
Hey, it looks good though. I like it.
I will look good in it.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, money doesn't mean anything.
I've only just started to stretch it, so.
Stretch it? What do you mean?
I mean,
Oh, you mean stretch it? Is that what you mean?
no.
Oh, I don't.
We're not stretching it. It's the perfect size for me. I've never ripped it at all. I've never heard the sound of in the back of it when I wore it. Yeah.
Yeah, that would freak me out.
Everything's perfect.
So, like, this is all my stuff, by the way. I actually, everything else is mine.
Yeah, it's not mine.
I'm a naturally occurring drag queen, I guess.
I'm naturally occurring drag queen. Well, you work in film and stuff like that as well,
do.
right? So
Yeah.
you get to work with costuming.
Yeah.
And so you definitely already have a basic knowledge
Of
how drag works.
I had no idea how much of a head start I had on this lesson of drag because, yeah, this is my authentic self. To be quite honest, I like to be silly and colorful and expressive and just kind of zany, and I have to be unique. I don't like to be a copycat. I like to just be completely original. And then if someone copies me, that makes me mad. Anyway.
Right?
But I've always been this way.
No, and I think that's how it's important that you stay that way, and it's important that you stay present in the things you enjoy. And I think that everybody in some form or another has or is currently doing drag, whether it just be a guy who wants to tune up his mustache to look fine for his date, right? I think there's an aspect of drag in every single one of us, because I think drag is a lot more personal than just dressing up as a girl, getting up on stage.
Right. Is it a bit of a facade?
I don't even think it's a facade, and I don't like to call it a lifestyle, because a lot of people will take that and they'll make it a negative thing. Like it's a lifestyle that's affecting others or that you're forcing onto other people. And it's not like that at all.
No.
It's more just a perceived notion of wanting to be happy with yourself. I think that's overall what drag is. And I think all the extra steps are just extra steps.
Ooh la 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 la.
Introducing
Dun, 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 dun. It's Susie.
Yes.
Susie Space Cadet. Hello.
Susie Space Cadet. I love that.
Thank you so much.
That was absolutely perfect. I had such...
You are absolutely perfect.
Thank you. I had such a fun time today, hanging
I had
out,
so much fun.
talking about drag and getting ready with you. And I hope that you were able to learn something today.
I did.
I know that you already had a little bit of experience, but I'm glad that we were able to sit down and...
I learned that drag is it's already a part of me.
It is. It has
Yeah.
been, and it always will be.
Yeah.
Because
And I hope other people join drag too. It's so fun to just try once.
I really hope they try and redo your makeup look, because that would be amazing
Oh,
to
yeah.
see photos of people redoing your look. I love it.
I love to see. That's why I put a bunch of eyes on my face.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you having me here.
Thank you so much. If people are interested in looking at Doris and Drag, how can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Doris and Drag. You can find me on YouTube, Doris and Drag. And you can find me everywhere, Doris and Drag.
Cool. But fun fact, Doris and Drag also makes films, so keep an eye out for Dylan Ginther, filmmaker.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And now I'm just going to...
Okay, tra-la-la, away now, bye. Pickles!
Whoa, Kelsey!
What do you think?
You look fabulous.
I know.
Whoa.
I think it's your turn now.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, actually here, I have something.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Whoa!
Wow.
I feel transformed.
This is our show. This is our show. The more you watch, the more you know. Whee! Fun times! Caution! Eclectic!